I'm Ryan Newman, and since I started with Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives, I found out that some people think that they can't be an organ donor. The truth is, anyone can sign up to be an organ donor.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. So don't count yourself out because somebody's counting on you. Go to driventosavelives.org and sign up today.
But my heart's going to you, Ryan.
Love that shirt.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another night of TNT Shock Series Racing here on the National Racing Network. My name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with us here tonight. Qualifications just about ready to get underway. Joined in the booth by Patrick Byrne. Five Flags Speedway Bizzle. I think this one's going to be pretty intense because you can go 2, possibly 3 lanes around here pretty comfortably. We'll say it that way.
Yeah, I remember a couple seasons ago, me and Wes were testing this one out, seeing if it was even viable to race, and it was some of the most fun me and him have ever had behind the wheel of a race car. Just the two of us absolutely running side by side, laps at a time, undercutting each other, crisscrossing each other. This track is an absolute blast. How it'll do with a full pack of cars, though, well, we'll have to sit back and see.
Yeah, that part's going to be interesting. Wes Shire, as soon as you talk about him, he went top of the board. Then Andrew Berry went even faster, 14.714. New quick time, Wes Shire, top of the speed charts, 14.667. How about the lap from Alex Teeter? That one was a heater. Nika Margo up to third, picking up Jason Owens here, working lap number 2 in position number 6 at a 14.884. Half the field already timing in here for tonight's 50-minute extravaganza. Owens able to improve up to the 5th position. Peter Donchak off of turn number 4. Lap number 2 for Donchak going to be 10th quick. Simon fell up to the 4th position. That was a good lap for Simon at a 14.774. Top 8 cars all within a quarter of a second. Make it 9. James Watson at a quarter of a second back exactly after lap number 1. See what Watson can do here on lap number 2. Zach Nurnberger, Kylo Ciacelli have not taken to the racetrack yet. Neither has the 48 of Ben Carswell. Lap number 2 for Watson in 9th quick. Stephen C. Thompson, your points leader heading into tonight. Oh, man, then he's going to then he wads it up for us heading into turn number 1. Thompson holding a 6-point lead entering tonight's festivities, as we'll pick up Shadow Jesus out on the racetrack now. Ben Carswell coming around to exit turn number 2 on his first of 2 qualification laps. Stephen C. Thompson leading by 6 points over Andrew Berry. Kylo Ciacelli on the strength of back-to-back wins up to the 3rd position, only 15 back of Thompson, as Carswell goes 12th quick after lap number 1. It will only be Nurnberger and Ciacelli left to qualify. Lap number 2 for Carswell is not even an improvement, 15.028 to a 14.988 on lap number 1. He's 12th quick and only about a third of a second off the pace. Mike Long, the 16th driver to have qualified here tonight. only about a half second off the pace. So a lot of quick cars out here. Mike Barry, Matthew Short, both taking 2 qualification laps, neither of which scored. So they will be starting from the back of the pack. Here is Kylo Ciacelli, back-to-back race wins here in the TNT Shock Series. But after that last race, both Kylo Ciacelli and Andrew Barry are on probation, and I have to check the wording of this one here just to make sure, but yes, both are on probation for the remainder of the season. So not only is it mind your P's and Q's here tonight, it's mind your P's and Q's for the rest of the season. Ciacelli, for driving standards. Basically, it's one of those deals of don't be blocking, don't be making moves you wouldn't theoretically make in the real world, and even possibly using netcode to your advantage. And we've seen that in some of the official iRacing stuff as well. Not just out of Ciacelli, but some other drivers have actually learned how to use netcode to their advantage. Andrew Barry's probation stems from his reaction last weekend to Kylo Ciacelli over the voice chat in Sims. So they're 2 separate things, separate incidents that landed them on probation for the season. But there's a long way to go until the end of May, Patrick.
Oh, yeah. And it's funny you mentioned, like, using netcode to your advantage. I've been in iRacing a long time, and I always wondered, when are people going to, start doing some of the stuff that some of the other esports already have problems with? And it's taken about 6 years, but here we go. Like, using netcode to your advantage is something that people are legitimately doing in the open races as well as league races, hosted races. It's very similar to the lag switch from the old Halo games and the CSGO as well, where you'd kind of hit a switch and it would disconnect your internet for a split second. So if you were getting shot as you turned a corner and you didn't want to die, you flip the switch and you kind of bounce off to another room. And it sucks, but it's a part of internet gaming. So
yeah, so that's something that, quite frankly, I think you're going to see the weaponization of that taken out a little bit. We'll talk about that more over the next 50 minutes, but first, let's show you the starting grid for tonight's TNT Shock Series race, and how about it? We're talking about him being on probation, and he's going quick time. Kylo Ciacelli, 14.624 seconds. That is a full 1.5 seconds faster than Ty Majeski's track record here in the real world. Super late model at a 16.120. These guys are going 14.6 in these PM18s. West Shire 42,000s back in second. Andrew Barry, Nick Camargo going to occupy row number 2. Already approaching 1/10 of a second by the time you get to number 4 on the grid. Simon Fell, Alex Teeter on row 3. Row number 4 will have Jason Padu and Jason Owens. Owens nursing an injury, injured himself, well, getting the snowblower out.
Yes, it was not taking the recycling out this time.
It was not a recycling can issue. It was a snowblower related issue for Jason Owens this time. But he's injured. We'll see if he's able to go the whole night here out of position number 8. Jason Miller, James Watson on row number 5. Potty Queen, James Watson. You're welcome, Discord. Dave Sparks, Peter Donchak on row number 6. Row 7 will have Ben Carswell and Brian Labarge. Stephen C. Thompson, your points leader, rolling off 15th tonight. Joe Varvel in the 16th position. Mike Long, Zach Nurenberger, row 9. Row 10, Matthew Short, Mike Barry. 20 cars, 50 minutes. And as always, race fans, the start of this one going to be all yours. One lap clean in the books. Oh man, Jason Owens bouncing it off the outside wall right at the start-finish line, and James Watson was down to his inside. Everybody from Watson forward is single file. They're starting to play a little bit nice, but Peter Donchak going to work on Jason Owens here now as well.
Yeah, just tapping the wall there is going to give him just a little bit of damage. Hopefully it's not going to hurt him very much, but he's definitely going to be a little shaken up and a little slow. And I almost wonder if that snowblower injury is making it a little slow tonight.
Oh, trouble for the points leader. Stephen C. Thompson going around on the front straightaway. Take a look, see if we can see what happened here to Stephen C. Thompson. Off of turn number 4. Oh, buddy, loop-de-loop, almost got it around. But that man, he's going to have a long row to hoe now. The battle is on at the front of the field. Wes Shire, Kylo Ciacelli, Andrew Berry. Trouble, caution is out. Caution number 1 on the racetrack, and it's going to be for Zach Nurenberger.
I can already see he was exiting there too low. There's a little bump right at the exit of 4, and it'll spin you around. It almost took Stephen Thompson out just a lap or 2 prior, and unfortunately takes teammate Zach Nurenberger out.
Yeah, and one of the interesting things here, we're already seeing it. Andrew Berry is on pit lane, as is Alex Teeter, Jason Owens. These guys were talking in the pre-race how important tires were going to be tonight, that every caution flag, if they were mid-pack or further, they were going to be stopping for tires. Alex Teeter showed a number, I don't know how long the run was. He was at 0, 1, and like 32% on his right front tire.
Yeah, so iRacing won't have you blow a tire where rubber is going everywhere and goes nuts, but it will lose all air pressure and it'll drop that side of the car down a little bit, and I can definitely see that being possible tonight.
Yeah, I think the question is, and maybe even going to come down to how many stints do we get? How many heat cycles? I mean, we've talked about it in some of the other cars. You go 8 laps, you're getting the tires fully up to temperature, they're up to pressure, and then you're going to cool them down with 4 or 5 laps under caution. And then you go 8 to 10 laps under green, and then you do another heat cycle again. You cool them down under yellow. That's something these tires really don't take well to.
Yeah, that's why they don't run caution, or they don't run many ovals. They only run 1 oval in the real world, is because these tires don't like heating up, cooling down, heating up, cooling down. All of those heat cycles makes them super hard and super greasy. So while they may be on a dry racetrack, it'll almost feel like it's in the wet. You'll go to turn the wheel, and the car just kind of wants to go straight, and you got to give it a little bit of brakes and bring the car back in, and it's not fun. So you're definitely going to want to put tires on.
Stephen C. Thompson pitting that last time by. So the final 5 cars in the running order, Andrew Berry, Alex Teeter, Jason Owens, Stephen C. Thompson, and Zach Nurenberger have all stopped. Actually, Nurenberger didn't stop, but he is being scored 1 lap down in the 20th position. No wave arounds, no lucky dogs, unless you're between the leader and the pace car at the 1 to go. Then you'll get the wave around. But outside of that, no free passes here, as the lights are out on the iRacing safety car. Got to thank everybody that is tuned in here on YouTube and on Twitch. Get the comments in. Let us know where you're watching from, and we can get your comments up on the air. Man, we go back green and things just start to string out. And in some respects, Patrick, I think almost that's maybe what the guys at the front of the field wanted to see, because you don't want to battle these things in a pack. That's a great way to wear the tires down. Now everybody can just kind of set their own pace, run the laps that they want to run, and then you'll kind of see where things shake out 50 minutes from now.
Yeah, even still, I'd much rather be in Wes's position. Just sit out there in the front, nice clean air, and be able to kind of run away from him a little bit. He just set the fastest lap of the race, but no, Kylo Ciacelli is going to come back and beat him by 100. 14.69 seconds. Very nice lap by him.
Yeah, very nice lap by Kylo Ciacelli to claim the fastest lap. I don't remember if that's a bonus point or
Wes
not.
takes back.
Yeah, 14.66. And I mean, these guys were qualifying at a 14.66. In fact, Wes Shire's lap time last time by was faster than what he qualified on. He said you were going to expect about 10 to 12 laps in is when you would set the fastest laps of the stint. Kind of seeing that bear out a little bit here.
16 laps in, but we did have a caution. He just set a 14.63, so 14.59. Both him and Ciacelli get a 14.59.
Wow, that's you're laying some heaters down
very
now.
Fast.
Yes. Let's go back. There's a hornet's nest here back in the pack behind. Let's see, Brian Labarge. You got Joe Varvel, followed by Mike Barry, Ben Carswell, Matthew Short, Mike Long, Andrew Berry, and actually Alex Teeter in the tail end of that one as well. Jason Owens looks like he's falling off the pace just a little bit. This is kind of what I expected us to see tonight here. I was doing some AI testing with so we could have the cameras ready for tonight. And those guys would run, the AI would run 3 wide. This place is absolutely 3 grooves wide if you want to push the issue.
If you're a guy like me, I'm always a fan of, if you've got the tires on the car and you're way back, push and get up a couple spots, especially at a short track like this. Chances are caution's going to come out at some point. You can get new rubber on the car. So,
yeah, especially if you're going to play the strategy game that, you know, Andrew Berry and Alex Teeter and Owens and Thompson are playing. If you're going to pit every time there's a caution, you have to make up a lot of ground.
Yeah, but even still, like, just push, get the track position, because you know a lot of people, especially if you have a long green flag run, a lot of people are going to pit, so you're not going to lose too much by pitting. So you got to work your way up to the front and kind of try and keep yourself there, but if you burn off the tires too quickly, it gets kind of tough.
Matthew Short inside of Ben Carswell. Oh, and Carswell may have gotten a piece of the outside retaining wall at the exit of turn number 4. Going to lose the spot to Andrew Berry, defending series champion.
Now, it's funny you call these cars a hornet's nest when they're all together like that. If you've never been to the Carb Night Classic at IRP, listen to these things in a big giant pack. It absolutely sounds like a pack of hornets. I was about ready to get my hornet spray and start running around, and I looked at the racetrack and went, oh man, there's Indy Pro 2000s going around there in circles.
Yes, they are screamers. We saw that out at New Jersey Motorsports Park a couple of seasons ago. Man, that was... They were intense to watch. Actually, they was USF 2000, Indy Pro, and somebody else was there too. I forget what the third series. Oh, basically, the whole road to Indy was there, except for Indy Lights.
I've been to IRP a couple times. I will say, these things have to be the loudest vehicles there. And I've seen nitromethane.
I was going to say, well, that's also saying something, because the Silver Crowns that run at IRP for the Carb Night Classic, the Fat Bottom Girls of USAC are a throaty rumble.
Yes, but it's the same reason, like, when I go down to Daytona this Thursday, and they run the Miatas. Those things are the loudest things all weekend. I'm not even kidding you. They're the loudest cars all weekend. It's the pitch just travels. There's
also 700,000 of them on the racetrack. If you're able to do so, watch the MX-5 races. Oh, big contact! Couple of cars going around. Matthew Short. Oh, Alex Teeter piles into Short. I think Andrew Berry may have been involved in that one as well.
I commentator curse these guys.
Short has to take the toe. Teeter has to take the toe.
Before I dropped out of the big voice chat in Discord below us with all of these guys in it, I told them, hope you all crash and burn, and then jumped up here. And, oops.
Wow, you are that guy.
Well, you said good luck, everyone, so I couldn't say the same thing. So crash and burn was the second thing that came to mind.
Several cars making their way down pit road, led by Simon Fell, Peter Donchak, Jason Miller, Mike Barry, Andrew Berry, Joe Varvel, Mike Long, Brian Labarge, Jason Owens. I don't know that the pit stop at lap 7 was necessarily a must-take. here at lap 32, lap 33, you have enough
Absolutely.
laps on the tires at this point that I think this one makes a whole lot of sense. And actually now everybody else is coming down pit lane. Wes Shire, Kylo Ciacelli, Nick Camargo, James Watson, Jason Paydu, Ben Carswell. I wonder if there wasn't a... I don't think there's any reason they would have come down where the pit's not open yet. We'll see if there's any drama here, but Dave Sparks has not stopped. That's going to get him the focus. Double O. Dave Sparks out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Wisconsin native. Dave Sparks.
Dave Sparks is always on these crazy strategy things where he doesn't pit here. I think the last time he stayed out was just because he wanted to lead a lap. And, hell, power to him. You get an extra point for doing it.
Yeah, that's
Might
it.
as well take it early, take penalty early, and then
Yep.
try and work your way back up to the rest of the race.
Yeah, one top 5, one top 10 on the season for Dave Sparks. Actually, a pretty solid number. Tied for 6th overall in incidents per lap. One of the cleaner drivers on the circuit. 0.03 incidents per lap.
Now, if we were keeping track of Fastmasters in that, he would be like the highest in incident per lap.
Possibly, yes. Actually,
I tend to accidentally wreck him a lot.
he averages 0.8 positions gained per race. So based on average start versus average finish, he gains about a spot from where he starts every week. Actually, number 1 on that list, Mark Dillon Jr. with just enough starts to make the list. He averages a 10.5 position gain. As we go back to Green Flag Racing, Sparks got to hold on at the front. Fell, Dodchak, Miller, Barry, the top 5. New, interesting kind of lineup here at the front, Patrick. Approaching the halfway point. If you're one of these guys like Shire, Ciacelli, Andrew Barry that kind of expected to be up front all night, does this change how you approach this race? Because now you're buried mid-pack.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter how good of a driver you are. If you're stuck mid-pack, you're stuck mid-pack. You really have to fight and through some finicky strategy try and get your way back up to the front.
Oh, hold on to it. Trouble down the front straightaway. Wow, and we're not going to go caution. What a save by Brian LaBarge. I don't know how he did not wreck this thing. Let's take a look here. Oh, and now we do get the caution flag. It is trouble for Peter Dodchak. That was right at the head of the field. What a save. Ciacelli bounced it off the wall.
Watching Brian LaBarge there was just like watching a bullet with butterfly wings. That was incredible.
Take a look, see what happened to Petey here. Peter Dodchak off at turn number 4, kind of the same deal, the little self-spin. Oh, big contact there for Mike Barry. Oh, there's several cars that are going to get involved in this one towards the back of the pack as well. Zach Nurenberger gets a bunch.
I said it earlier in the race, I'm going to say it again. If any of the drivers happen to be listening, the worst crew chief in the world is telling you there's a bump on the low side of turn 4. Avoid it.
So Dave Sparks on pit lane now. He's going to take his first service here at the 35-minute mark. Stephen Thompson, Mike Barry, Nick Camargo, Peter Dodchak, all on pit lane. Looks like Petey may be done for the night. Actually, looks like Andrew Barry is done as well. Major championship implications here as Andrew Barry, entering the night second in points, is out of this race and will finish 18th.
That one's going to hurt.
Well, yeah, Stephen C. Thompson, your points leader, in the 13th position right now. Third place in points, Kylo Ciacelli up to 5th. Wes Shire entered the night 4th in points, only 19 back of the lead. It really is kind of a battle at this point between the top 4. Fifth place, Brian Labarge, 32 points back entering the night. Labarge currently running in the 10th position, but he's got an absolute handful. Simon Fell, your race leader out of Corte Madera, California for the Super Fell racing team. Simon's one of those guys who's sneaky fast. Puts himself into good positions, quite frankly, all the time, it seems like. He's always there towards the end of the race. In fact, second in the league in top 10s. I'm sorry, he has 2 top 10s on the season. Learn to read your spreadsheets right here, bud.
You only typed them out. You should have, like...
No, I copied and pasted a lot.
Ah, there it is.
It's hard to tell your kids that cheaters never prosper when I'm sitting here copying and pasting all of the data that we use for research.
Nothing wrong with that.
32 minutes, 45 to go. Green flag in the air. Go ahead and crank it up. Kylo Ciacelli, West Shire trying to get around Mike Long, who currently holds the 3rd position. Shire going to have the inside lane. Oh, Ciacelli goes down 3 wide off of turn number 4. Man, that's been the tricky spot all night long, and everybody able to make it through. Caution is out for the 3rd time here tonight.
Someone else didn't make it through.
Trouble for Dave Sparks. Picked up a couple of laps led early in the race. And there's turn 4 coming to grab you.
Do I have to say it again? There's a bump there.
You're going to say you can't park there.
Hey, can we red flag the race? I'm going to hop on a plane, go down to Pensacola, and put one of those big yellow or orange like construction signs that just says bump.
Yes.
Maybe right before that, I'll put one that just says raised plow, just to get everyone like confused and looking, and then they'll see the bump sign and go, oh, okay.
Yes, that would be. You can bring one of those home from Florida with you. Jason Owens, Brian Labarge, Dave Sparks on pit lane. Attrition an early factor here.
Pennsylvania doesn't need any more orange construction signs. They've got plenty.
That is correct. Our state flower is the construction barrel. So approaching 20 minutes down in this one, Simon Fell holding on to the race lead. Jason Miller, Michael Long working the pit strategy to hold on to those top 3 positions. Kylo Ciacelli, West Shire, James Watson, Ben Carswell back through the 7th position. Jason Paydu, Joe Varvel, Stephen C. Thompson, Brian Labarge, and Jason Owens, the cars remaining on the racetrack. Only 12 of the 20 starters are on the racetrack. All are on the lead lap. Let's see if we can't get a quick word. Let's see if I can find it here first. Let's bring Jason Owens into the booth here. And Jason, first question for you. How are you feeling? And is the hand doing okay?
Yeah, I'm fine, other than I feel like an idiot for ever agreeing to put this track on the schedule, but that has nothing to do with the race.
Well, it's funny that you say that because the racing is good when you guys stay off the bump. Can you pass the message along in sim that says the color commentator says there's a bump in turn 4?
Everybody knows there's a bump in turn 4. Nobody cares. Everybody's going to go full send. I've got, I put the wrong setup on the car tonight. I don't have my 5 flag set, so that was dumb. So I'm like on the struggle bus, but I'm just trying to stay alive and finish.
All right, buddy. Well, we'll let you back up to the room here. I think we're getting ready to go back to green, but we appreciate you checking in with us here. And, yeah, Jason Owens not having a good time tonight. Neat Camargo checking in the comments. Well, let's see. We'll go to Mike Barry. Let's see. Green flag back in the air. We are underway.
Mike Barry just said rip.
Yes.
Which is a fair assessment of what happened. Press F to pay respects.
Oh, that's awesome. Let's take a look here. James Watson hung up behind Mike Long as Kylo Ciacelli and Wes Shire get by on the restart. Watson going to have to go to work on Long here pretty quickly. Yeah, Neat Camargo saying he is not a happy camper at the moment. I don't necessarily blame him.
Just remember, this track will never ever be on the Fastmaster schedule.
That's kind of disappointing.
Just kidding, it'll be on the Rotary Series schedule now.
Wes Shire having to look inside of Kylo Ciacelli to turn number 1. He backs out as Ciacelli gets right up underneath of Jason Miller off at 2. This is where you just have to be patient. We're not even to the halfway point in this race yet. No reason to push if you're Ciacelli or Shire. I would think this is kind of where you're sitting in tire conservation mode, quite frankly. Although we say that as Ciacelli dives way inside of Miller into 1 and 2.
Ciacelli, absolute madman out there. Oh, and he blinks in and out. He's going to save it though. Oh man, he made Miller have to back out of it.
Yeah, and that's one of the issues that was brought up as the reason for the probation is sometimes you're the connection, you'll be in one place and then you reappear somewhere else, and it's just generally not good. If for no other reason, it just absolutely spooks everybody around you.
Yeah, you can see Miller definitely had to back out of it there once Ciacelli reappeared, and kind of freaked him out. It freaked me out too.
Alex Teeter saying, well, the early pit absolutely backfired. Yeah, that's one of the dangers of that strategy is it kind of puts you towards the back, and sometimes you get yourself into trouble and really know where to go. Kylo Ciacelli, Wes Shire, both able to clear Jason Miller, but Simon Fell under attack from Kylo Ciacelli. Wes Shire sitting about 1 second back as Ciacelli dives to the inside. Simon Fell calls no joy. Slots back into the second position. A little bit deeper in the pack. Mike Long now trying to hold off Ben Carswell, Jason Paydu. All of these guys on pretty similar strategies. The only cars on a little bit fresher rubber right now, Brian Lamarge and Jason Owens, they have 18 laps on their tires. Man, again, Carswell getting up towards that outside fence. Oh, Mike Long heading down towards pit lane. Trouble. Oh, looks like the right rear maybe bent out of shape a little bit there on the car of Mike Long. He's going to head for pit lane. Kylo Ciacelli has checked out on Simon Fell. Now Wes Shire trying to work the outside of the racetrack to his advantage. Just not close enough to grab some gravity, come down the hill on corner exit. Now that we're inside of halfway, if you're Wes Shire, do you feel like you have to push? Because if we don't get another caution flag, he could be in trouble if Kylo Ciacelli's able to extend this gap.
Yes and no. Wes is very good at this track. Wes is the one, I believe, who petitioned to have this track on the schedule. You can see him repeatedly drive over that bump just fine. So I don't think Wes has anything to really worry about. And even still, a P3 finish is nothing to scoff at. So even if he just wanted to sit right there and him and Simon kind of pull away from the rest of the pack, I think that would be just fine.
Yeah, well, the other thing is, I don't know that these guys are going to be able to make it on. They're going to have to stop again, I would think, because stopping at lap, they've already got 44, 45 laps on this set of tires. Timing and scoring is telling us about 92, 93 laps to go. So just the spitball math says you're going to have to stop.
Oh, yeah. Dave Sparks checking in the Discord saying, "Hey, Bizzle, you never told me about the bump."
90210 checking in the comments. P3 is the second loser, to quote Ricky Bobby. Yes.
You ain't first, you're last.
You ain't first, you're last. A little bit deeper here. Ben Carswell, Jason Paydu doing battle. This is the fight for the 6th position. Pizza at the Pagoda Show coming back for 2023 NTT IndyCar Series season. We'll be able to catch those shows, I think Wednesday is going to be the day. Following the weekend following every IndyCar Series event, or the week following every IndyCar Series event, kind of talk about what went on, preview what's coming up over the next couple of weeks. Nick Camargo in the comments saying a full tank is about 104 laps. So if they were at 90 plus 50, or I'm sorry, there was 90 to go and they were about 40 laps in. The math says they're going to have to stop again. That was the big concern, was if you had to make a green flag pit stop, that was going to be sketchy at best. Oh, man, that's sketchy, too. James Watson, maybe a little right side romance there on Jason Miller exiting turn number 2. I would imagine in that instance, Patrick, when you're talking about the possibility of green flag pit stops being chaos and carnage, you probably don't want to be the first guy onto pit lane.
No, I'm going to be waiting because I know that the green flag pit stops are going to turn into yellow flag pit stops pretty quickly. Everyone is going to wait until the very last second to not be the first guy on the pit road. This is a tough pit road to come down.
And it's not even like it's one of those places that you can enter off the backstretch, because it just absolutely straight flattens out. There isn't an apron per se, and we'll see it here in just a second. But turn 3 starts and there's grass. You have to commit to 3 before you can dive down to pit lane.
So you basically have to come down on the low line, the racing line where everyone is, smash the brakes, bring the car down, and still somehow make it to pit road speed, all without spinning the car, which this thing does not like transitions like that, as we see with all of these guys still driving over the bump waiting to spin. It's going to get you one time or another, I swear.
It bit everybody in practice multiple times. And the other problem is, we just saw it there out of Ben a little bit. you try to go high to avoid the bump, and then you get that kind of the on-throttle oversteer on corner exit where the car just wants to swap ends. So it's not even necessarily the bump, but it's also the setup that can come out and bite you.
Yes, which is why my setups are very particular, where they're always like that snap oversteer on exit. Especially at Nashville. Nashville is the same thing. It's got a bump right on the low line. Nashville, the short track at Fairgrounds. Bump on the low line exiting 4. And if you would ever watch my in-car, it'd be like you come over that, and it's a quick jerk 180 degrees to the right and then quick back to the center. And if you can nail it every single lap, you're golden. But it will come out and bite you very quickly if you don't get it just right.
Stephen C. Thompson is, well, no, maybe not. Thought he was seeing he was entering pit lane, but he was just dipped down low. Mike Long is on pit lane. He was running in the 12th position. Long 26 laps behind your race leaders. Here's Simon Fell and James Watson battling for the 3rd position on the racetrack. Oh, how about it? Lap traffic has caught up to Kylo Ciacelli. Man, Ciacelli almost into the fence exiting 4. Wes Shire is a car length back. Did Wes save enough tire to make this really right spicy? And the 2 cars ahead of him are battling for position. That's Brian Labarge and Ben Carswell fighting for 7th. There's not going to be any niceties shown to the leaders here because Carswell doesn't want to give up the spot. Well, I say that, and this time he goes way high through 1 and 2. (90210) saying, actually here, we'll get the comment up on screen. As Wes Shire's looking inside, any chance of a Pizza at the Pagoda live stream race reaction? I just want to see a guy get attacked by a garbage can or recycling bin. Jason Owens is internet famous.
That's fantastic. It's not that he got attacked by the bin.
No, he was doing the attacking.
He was doing the attacking and lost to an inanimate object.
Can confirm. So approaching 15 minutes remaining in this 50-minute long race. Working 75. Oh, Ciacelli almost spins off a 4 West Shire to the race lead. Great save by Ciacelli. And he's hitting pit road. There it is. First of the leaders to stop, and it's going to be Kylo Ciacelli. If the caution flag flies right now, he's in great shape. If it doesn't, he needs everybody else to make it through because he will go a lap down very, very quickly. Oh, yeah, you can see, looks like some damage on the right-hand side pod possibly there for Ciacelli. But you can see it, he's already gone a lap down. Now West Shire coming down pit lane. Shire's going to complete his service. That will promote James Watson to the race lead. Interesting tactic, I think, by Shire here. He covered Kylo Ciacelli's stop. Everybody else knows they're not on the same plan. By staying out here and hoping for the caution, you could possibly trap both Wes Shire and Kylo Ciacelli a lap down. The only problem is with only 6 cars on the lead lap, those guys would not be stopping again. They're going to get the wave around and get to start basically right behind you anyway, but you will have the track position.
Yeah, taking the undercut in this case, I think it's a good idea because there's only 15 minutes left, so you'll be able to go completely flat out all the way to the end of it.
Picking up Jason Miller as he comes down pit lane, pitting out of the 3rd position. The other one they have to watch for is the attenuator at pit in. That can be an absolute mess. Nico Margo is saying it's got a magnet on it in the comments. Oh, one car hard into the outside fence. Not sure who that was. Oh, that was Jason Owens. Big hit for Owens. And it will bring out the caution flag. Yellow flag is out with 12.5 minutes remaining. That was a huge hit for Jason Owens. Oh. Well, we're going to have to look at this one again from the overhead. Was it netcode? Slow it down. No, there was absolutely contact there.
Contact.
Ciacelli slides up the racetrack, gets Jason Owens, and absolutely nowhere that 87 machine was going but into the outside fence. So James Watson, Simon Fell, Brian Labarge, Joe Varvel all come down and take their final pit service of the night. 6.5 seconds, the time of the stop for James Watson. Ben Carswell now hitting his pit box. 5th place now is Wes Shire. Shire is between, and this is what we talked about, Patrick. Shire is between James Watson and the pace car. If we pick up race leader James Watson, he's all the way back here. Everybody is getting a wave around. Or just about everybody is getting a wave around. So when we come to the 1 to go signal, let's see here. Okay, Joe Varvel will not get a wave. He was already in line behind Watson. Let's see here. Get a quick word in with Jason Owens as we work under the caution flag here. Owens out of the race after the contact. What did you see from your perspective on that one, Jason?
I'm sure you guys have probably seen better replays than I have. I'm just looking at it in sim, but I mean, for a guy on probation throwing it 3 wide to somebody that's trying to let him pass and then turn right off the turn, I don't know what else to say. Like, there's rightward steering input, so I don't know. Leave it to the council, but kind of sucks. I didn't have a great car. I was running my 15-1s and staying out of people's way, and went high for the guys that were on the leading strategy, and got hip checked. So I don't know what else to say, Chris.
All right, well, we can hear the disappointment in your voice. We appreciate you checking in with us here. And it sounds like there's going to be something formal coming here. There is the TNT Council that looks at these types of things. I am on that, so I won't necessarily, well, I'll say this way, I won't comment on what my thoughts are on the incident.
I am also in that council, so my lips are sealed.
Yes. Oh, caution again on the racetrack here with 8 minutes to go. Man, James Watson is loving this. Take a look, see what happened here. Trouble for Joe Varvel. Looks like Ben Carswell also going to be involved in this one. Varvel off of turn 4, hits the bump. Oh, and Carswell spins as well. What a bomb! Oh my goodness. Brian LaBarge.
Can we get an onboard with Brian LaBarge?
Brian LaBarge, you are getting the instant replay of the night here, bud. Let's see. There he is, on board with Brian LaBarge. Whew, that was a big save there, but hold on. That's not the one we're looking for. This is, I think, the one we're looking for.
No, I believe that's the same one again.
Yeah, same one again. Not sure. Let's try this one.
It's third time's a charm. Not.
Third time's the charm. It's not happening. So, man alive.
I just want to say, so my little brother has his Xbox upstairs on the same Wi-Fi connected to my Spotify account. Right as the caution came out, he started playing Crash by Dave Matthews Band. And it started blasting through my headphones because it was connected to play through my headphones instead of the Xbox.
That's pretty comical.
But it was perfect timing, immaculate timing. That was fantastic.
That was one of the best hookup songs when I was in high school. We'll just leave it at that. 6 minutes and 55 seconds left to go here.
Our friend Gary DeMoss sent me that song after I crashed my Honda. I called him a jerk. You prick.
Yeah, I was going to say, there was something else he got called there, too. Let's see if we can't find James Watson here, because I think, yep, lights are still on the iRacing safety car. So let's bring James Watson up into the booth here. And James, the strategy call looks like it's playing out for you here. Got out front with some pit strategy. You do have Wes and Kylo behind. Brian is very quick, so Simon. But you got to be feeling good right now.
I'm in a good position, but I'm nervous. I still need a lot to go right. I may need another caution or two to realistically have a shot at this, but we'll see. The car feels good. You know, clean air is a huge advantage, but when you're going up against the likes of the guys I have behind me, I don't know for sure if it's enough.
All right, buddy. Well, good luck here. We'll drop you back to the room as we're getting ready to go back to green. The comments are starting to get spicy.
Speaking of comments, apparently it's not my brother's Xbox, so that means it's someone in Ohio. Which means if you want to leave me songs to play that'll absolutely weird them out, I will absolutely cue them up.
Oh, that's awesome. We go back to Green Flag Racing. Watson checks out. Simon Fell going to have to contend with Wes Shire as Shire looks down to the inside. Like we said, comments are getting spicy. Let's bring this one up from Limo Boys Racing driver Chris Preston. If you were trying to let him pass, maybe don't come down the track and stay high. That is one perspective, is where did everybody move? That's one that's pretty impressive. Matthew Short is checking in the comments. If Watson pulls this off, I'm going to kiss him right on the mouth.
Oh, I'd pay to see that.
4.5 minutes left. Wes Shire still fighting with Simon Fell. Kylo Ciacelli is going to be right there as well. 4 minutes, 20 seconds remaining. It's a nice time to get on the heater if you're West Shire. He's gonna have to hustle too, because getting to Watson is one thing, passing him is gonna be something completely different.
So I found out who was controlling my music. I played Darude Sandstorm, and not 2 seconds later, I got a text message from one of my old buddies in Ohio saying, "Did you just turn on Darude Sandstorm from 500 miles away?"
That's hilarious. We actually do work here sometimes too, people. 3 minutes, 20 seconds remaining. West Shire has caught James Watson. It took him exactly 60 seconds to do that. Now, can Watson hold on for another 3 minutes? That might be a big ask. Simon Fell holding off Kylo Ciacelli. Kylo may have a little bit of damage, I think, from that contact with Jason Owens. Shire going to look to the outside.
Shire is a master of the outside here. He's going to get a huge run, and if in classic West style, he's going to cross him up out of 4 and try and take the low side. No, he's not.
Yeah, he didn't have it wasn't there. He would have had to back out to try to cross Watson up. Side by side, still for the race lead. I think he's got him clear into 1, but here comes Watson fighting back to the inside. Finally, West Shire gets clear of James Watson. Shire going to continue to run that little bit higher lane through 3 and 4. Watson can't even go after that lane just because the dirty air is going to get you. You see it there. Really big push for Watson off the middle of turn number 2. About 9 lap fresher tires for West Shire than what James Watson had. That could possibly be a little bit of a difference here, as we are down to 90 seconds remaining. Kylo Ciacelli will likely claim the bonus point. Oh, maybe not. For most laps led. He's led 46 to this point. West Shire has led 37 and counting. We're seeing about 4 laps to go this time by the start-finish line. Yeah, Matt Wagner checking in saying James needs to get off the bottom. I agree with you. The problem is I don't know that even if he gets off the bottom that he can do anything with West. That number 16 machine has been lightning fast, and he's got a special setup that he's running that was completely unfriendly for the first handful of laps, but the longer the run went, it seemed like the better the car got, and we're seeing that here.
Yeah, Wes has been refining this setup for as long as I've known him. So for at least 3 years, he's been planning a race at these cars at this track. And he's showing why. He just wanted to whip some ass and get some points.
Yeah, he's doing that in a big way, too. Kylo Ciacelli has not made up any ground. Stephen C. Thompson going to finish tonight, looks like in the 8th position. As the white flag is out, this will be the final lap of the race. Off at turn number 4, twin checkers in the air, and West Shire picks up the win at Five Flags. Second win of the season for West, going to tie him with Kylo Ciacelli for the series lead. His 4th top 5 and 5th top 10 of the season. Impressive drive here tonight. For the pilot of the number 16 Homestead Coffee Tales from Rukon entry. That's how you make the donuts, right there on the start-finish line. Well done, Mr. Westshire. Let's take a look at the race results here tonight, an event that saw very heavy attrition. Shire, Watson, Fell, the podium. Miller and Ciacelli round out the top 5. Ryan Labarge, 6th. Joe Varvel, 7th. Stephen C. Thompson in the 8th position. 9th, going to go to Jason Paydu, and that is the final car running here this evening. Ben Carswell finishing in 10th, 27 laps down. Followed by Mike Long, Jason Owens, Dave Sparks, Zach Nuremberger, and Mike Barry back through the 15th position. 16 through 20 tonight. Oh, sorry about that. Nika Margo, Peter Donchak, Andrew Berry, Matthew Short, and Alex Teeter. Race took 50 minutes to run because it was a 50-minute timed race. Westshire parking that machine in Victory Lane. We'll start getting ready for all of the interviews. Let's see. Actually, I don't see Simon. Let's see. We do have James Watson here available, though. But first, let's bring up our race winner here tonight. The guy with the magic setup is what it seemed like, at least in the early part of the night. Ultimately, great drive to the front to Victory Lane. Congratulations, Westshire, picking up win number 2 this season.
Thank you. That was, I feel like that was probably the best race I've ever driven on iRacing. It felt like anytime something went wrong ahead of me, it just magically went away from me. And anytime anything that could go right, it went right. And then yeah. Oh man, I love Five Flags.
We were talking with Patrick about the fact how much you absolutely love this racetrack. Obviously, you're going to petition for this to be included on the schedule again. Talk us through the night, though, because early on you made the call to pit early for tires, and you did it a lap after everybody else ahead of you. So it really kind of buried you deep in the field, and you had to kind of methodically work your way forward.
Yeah, so that was not intentional. I just didn't get a pit lane open alert. And then I saw everybody pit behind me, and I'm like, well, all right. I guess we're doing this the hard way.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
You know what? I think we put on a good show.
Yes, I was going to say, you did it the hard way, put on a good show. Ultimately, you got caught up to James with 3 or so minutes left. Were you pretty confident that you had the outright pace to get past him, or was there a lot of kind of setting up the move thoughts going on?
There was definitely some setting up thoughts. I think really the only car on track that had anything for me just raw pace-wise was Kylo. But, yeah, something happened to him there at towards the last caution, second to last caution. I don't really know what happened, but maybe he had damage. Seemed like after that, just no one had anything for me, and it's just, all right. Got time, pick my moves, make smart, high-percentage moves, and go from there, see what happens.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like, I think there may have been some damage there from the contact with Jason Owens. That one obviously will get discussed later on, but you've really got to be psyched here because entering the night, final question for you. You were 4th in points, Kylo finishing a handful behind you, Steven finishing in the 8th position, Andrew finishing as deep as he did. We were talking about a 4-horse race. We may now have 5 or 6 guys with a shot at this championship, and you're going to be in great position.
Oh, I believe we all would love to watch that fight. That'll be real good going into IRP at the end of the season, which coincidentally is one of my other favorite tracks.
That's not what anybody
wants to hear.
So we'll see how that works out. All right, buddy. Well, congratulations on picking up the big win here tonight. And before we let you go, make sure you get all those sponsor plugs and thank yous in. We know you got a bunch of them now.
Oh, yeah, and I'm going to have one extra one tonight as well. So, of course, got to thank you guys for the fantastic broadcast. Got to thank Jason for putting this all together. Big shout-out to Homestead Coffee, giving me the energy to, well, quite frankly, win the race. Of course, thank you to, well, not thank you, more of a shout-out to my other life as a D&D live streamer and YouTuber. Check us out, Tales from Rukon. Find us on Twitch. Find us on YouTube Friday nights. And my final little thank you here. Hopefully he's watching the broadcast. Big thank you to Andrew Barry for the setup tonight from the New Smyrna race.
Oh, that's dirty.
Wow. Wow.
You're West trying to hold line.
Yeah.
That's impressive. All right, Wes, thank you much. Yep. We appreciate you checking in. We got to go report a homicide now.
Wow.
Holy cow. James, you're going to have to a lot of work to follow up here with a fantastic end of that interview. But great drive for you here tonight. Ultimately, second place, maybe kind of the best you were hoping for, I guess, at some point during this race.
Yeah, I felt like I kind of might have let this one slip away on that second caution. I should have pitted when Simon pitted because I would have been right up front with him after that pit stop because I was following the leaders. I was assuming that they chose not to pit, so I elected to follow them, and then they pitted, and I came down with them, and I was like, wait, because it wasn't open for the top three, but it was open for Simon and me, so I would have been up front and in a much better. But yeah, this ended up falling nicely into my hands, but I'm still overall kind of disappointed because it's like if I would have gotten one more caution, if I would have got one more caution, like a 2 or 3 laps after that last one, I probably would have won. It would have taken Wes a little while to catch up to me. So
yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that because that's absolutely what you called during the interview was, I think I need another caution. And that was as much, it wasn't about needing the caution as it was the breakaway being able to dictate when the restart happens.
Yeah, and it because at that point, Wes was still behind Simon, so he would have needed laps to get past Simon and catch up to me. And so another caution would have taken off like another 3-4 minutes, would have only left us with like 2 minutes. He wouldn't have been able to get by Simon and pass me in that little amount of time. So I can't be too disappointed, and with how it went and how it could have went, and I had kind of had a league race just before this one, kind of a league win fall on my lap a little bit, so I can't be too upset, at the risk of sounding ungrateful, but like we race car drivers, as well as I do that we want to win anything and everything. So it doesn't matter if we've won 16 straight races, what have you. If we lose a race, we're going to be pissed off no matter what. So I'm happy to be pissed off because of this than pissed off because of getting wrecked at the very least.
Well, I'll tell you what, buddy, fantastic drive here tonight. And before we let you go, get all those sponsor plugs and thank yous taken care of.
Yes, sir. Got to thank everyone back at Team Watson Racing Setups. Use code WATSON39 for 15% off or 10% off at checkout. Got to thank Art Sports Sim Racing Apparel, you and everyone else, of course, at NRN, ZAS Designs, and Dizzy V Designs for doing my paint schemes.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you much for checking in with us here. We appreciate you. It looks like I do not see Simon Fell in the room here waiting for an interview. So,
Yep, I don't see a Fell either.
Yes, I don't see Simon. So, time for us to get the heck on out of here then, because we got Fastmasters driving to go do, heading off to Michigan International Speedway in BMWs that are going to be pack racing draft locked.
Oh, it's going to be fantastic.
What could possibly go wrong? With that,
I got the restrictor plate set up on those things for tonight, so it should be a blast.
That's beautiful. Well, time for us to get the heck on out of here. For Patrick Byrne and everybody here at the National Racing Network that makes these shows happen, my name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, everybody. We will talk to you all soon. Have a great night.